Hey, welcome to Living the Dream with MS. Today I'm going to talk about emotions. Today's an emotional day for whatever reason, so I thought that was the best topic. One of my best friends asked me, do you ever just lose it? I don't see it happen, so do you ever just lose it? Do you ever just have a time where you just can't handle it? And so I told her a story. I told her a story about the night before I filmed my first video. The speech thing had happened, and I was sitting alone in my room, and I just started crying. I was crying because I was scared. I was crying because I was frustrated. I was crying because I was angry. I was crying because I was sad. And that happens. I know I don't show it, but it happens, and it happens to most people with MS. So let's talk about some of those things. Let's talk about sadness. I get sad. I get sad for personal reasons that have nothing to do with MS, obviously, like anybody else does. But MS can make you sad. The outlook, when you start thinking about the outlook on life and all the hard times that you've been through, all the pain that you've suffered. There are days that I don't want to get out of bed. I absolutely did not want to get out of bed today. Take a look at my eyes. My eyes look like shit. I didn't sleep well, and I've got a headache, and I just don't feel great. Now, I did get out of bed, and that's something that I could talk about a little later on, but that was a challenge for me. Anxiety is a big challenge. Anxiety in the sense that MS is such a riddle that you don't know from morning to morning what you're going to wake up with. Are you going to wake up in pain? Are you going to wake up with a body part not working? Are you going to wake up with some cognitive delay where you're not able to think or talk? That leaves me anxious a lot. And sometimes it's good to talk through it, and other times I internalize it, and that's usually when anxiety turns into the next one, which is anger. Anger's a real son of a bitch. Anger's one that I deal with a lot. Anger of why me? Why do I have to deal with this pain? Anger of why do my children and my wife have to deal with me dealing with this pain? Anger of why does anybody have to deal with this? Anger of why are the laws so messed up when it comes to medication, and why does health insurance cost so much, and all of those things. Anger is one that simmers, and I have to be very careful with it because anger as a stressor can lead to triggers, as we talked about, and set off things within my body. So those are the real big ones: sadness, anxiety, and anger. So what do I do about them? Well, I have to share with who I can share with, whether that be my wife or some of my very closest friends, and kind of let it out. This same dear friend likes to talk about pity parties. And I don't allow myself very many pity parties, but every now and then I do have to say, this sucks. I have to acknowledge that it sucks, let it out a little bit, and then go forward. Because there is a fine line. You know, the live in the dream thing has become somewhat of a joke or a punchline. But there is a fine line between being positive and being in denial. And I have to make sure that I don't go into denial, because then I don't deal with the issues that I have to deal with. But staying positive and not allowing myself to drop into despair is key to my health. And so I have to do things like this blog, like pushing my body physically with coaching or exercise or other things to let out the physical stress, the anxiety. I have to allow myself to go have fun and do things that keep my mind positive. I also am very careful to try to surround myself with positive people. Because if I surround myself with folks where everything always sucks, everything's terrible, the world's out to get me, my brain can go there. And if my brain goes there, I'm going to end up physically unhealthy. So I surround myself with positive people. I push myself to be as positive as possible. And I work hard to stay in that realm. That being said, When I talk about sadness or depression, I talk about depression using that word but really meaning sadness. I don't suffer from the chemical imbalance known as depression. And I don't belittle that. That is a very different thing, and I would never dare to say to someone who does suffer with that illness that, oh, you just need to surround yourself with positive people and push through it, because it's not the same thing. They're very different things. They're very different challenges, and I respect and acknowledge that. This is for me and for what I'm going through, and this is how I cope with it. And if you find yourself in a similar situation where you don't suffer from that illness, your sadness, your other things are based on what's going on, hopefully you are able to apply some of this to your life and how you do things. The other thing, again, I've talked about over and over and over again that I'm blessed with is support. Not everybody has support. The support that I get allows me to continue to function, and if I have the down days, allows me to pick myself back up. If you're watching this video and you don't have the disease, but you know someone who does, try and figure out how to be that support. How to be that support. For me, the key words to me, and I've tried to use them myself, is not what can I do for you, or what do you want, or how can I help you. It's a stupid little hair splitting thing, but I really try to say, how can I support you, or what can I do to help you get past this. Try that. Hopefully you can be somebody's support. I would love to be somebody's support. If you need my support, let me know. That's all I have for today. Tomorrow will be another day, and I will keep living the dream with MS.